Everybody thinks they know who MAGA is. Red hats, pickup trucks, shouting, lock her up. But let's drop the caricatures and pull some receipts. Because when you look at the numbers, this movement isn't just a meme. It's a demographic reality, an attitude shift, and for a dangerous slice, a willingness to tear democracy apart. Let's talk MAGA by the stats, who they are. Okay, we're going to start with the basics. Who voted for Trump in 2024? That is our best MAGA proxy. Race and ethnicity. Well, about 78% white, 10% Hispanic, 3% black, 3% Asian. More diverse than 2016, but still a majority white. Education. 67% don't have a 4-year degree. White non-college voters alone make up over half of his coalition. Age, 60% are 50 years and over, which explains a lot about their worldview. Religion, nearly 80% are Christian, with Protestant evangelicals leading the charge. Compare that to Democrats, where no religion is the single biggest bloc. That's awesome. Geography, 1/3 rural, half suburban. MAGA's roots aren't just in the sticks, they're in the cul-de-sacs too. This isn't fringe. This is tens of millions of voters, shaped by specific demographics, what they believe. So here's where it gets really dark. PRRI found that nearly 1 in 4 Americans now agree that true patriots may have to resort to violence to save their country. Among Republicans and MAGA-aligned Christians, that number is even higher. In late 2024, a quarter of Trump supporters said that if he lost, he should declare the election invalid and do whatever it takes to take power. That's not small. That's millions of people openly flirting with authoritarianism. Now, this is not just my opinion. This is survey data. Immeasurable erosion of democratic norms when belief becomes action. Cue January 6th. Still the largest set of politically motivated criminal cases in U.S. history. Over 1,500 defendants were charged. Not just unemployed radicals. Many were employed, middle class, even small business owners. Sentences ranged from misdemeanors to more than 20 years for violent assaults on the police. It's a cross-section of America, but united by their loyalty to Trump. This is where attitudes about taking back the country cross into organized violence. Extremism versus the masses. Now, here's the line that I want to draw sharp. Not every Trumper is violent, but organized extremist violence in America overwhelmingly comes from the far right. The ADL tracks extremist-related murders every year. In 2024, all 13 were tied to far-right ideologies. White supremacy, anti-government cells, militia groups, every single one. That doesn't mean that all MAGA voters are extremists, but it does mean that the fertile ground for recruitment and radicalization is sitting inside of MAGA's ranks. Now let's be honest about limits. There is no data set for MAGA literacy levels, no crime database broken down by who wears a red hat. We can connect dots, lower education levels, rural counties, January 6 prosecutions, but claiming that MAGA can't read isn't just wrong. It's a gift to the other side. Please stick to what's real. So here's the big picture of MAGA. MAGA is older, whiter, less formally educated, and more religious than the rest of America. A dangerous minority believes that violence might be justified. A smaller but deadly slice has already acted on it. And the rest? They keep the base large enough for Trump to still be a force in American politics. The takeaway? Don't underestimate them. Don't caricature them. And don't ignore the warning signs when surveys show millions of people saying that they would rather burn democracy down than lose an election. That is the statistical reality. And it's a hell of a lot scarier than a meme. After the way MAGA behaved after Charlie Cook, it shows me more that they have listened to the garbage that Fox News and all those other right-wing news agencies has been feeding them for years. They believe this shit. Fox News immediately went on the air and started saying that Democrats have started a war. It was probably before Charlie was even at the hospital, before he had even passed away. Yes, MAGA is violence. You cannot show me one statistic, one real statistic that says otherwise. You can have Fox blow smoke up your ass all day about what the Democrats are and aren't, but you have no proof except for the garbage that comes out of their mouth. And you believe it. You suck it up. You suck it up. You're looking for somebody to hate because that's who you are. And Fox News and the Republicans and your precious fucking orange golden god has told you that I am your enemy. I'm not your enemy. No Democrat is your enemy. We are all Americans looking for the truth of what happened in the Epstein files. Personally, that's why I think this happened. We were all coming together. We were all finally on the same page. We were all of us united against the corruption that's happening in the White House over these files. And the fact that the Charlie Kirk shooter was dripping with MAGA, comes from a MAGA family. None of this makes sense to me. None of it. I believe facts. I believe stats. And I just gave you all the stats you need to know about who MAGA is and how dangerous they are. You knew they were dangerous when they voted for Trump, but now the stats are showing us that they are also the most violent. So hang in there, everybody. This is a crazy world we live in, and I can't believe I had to make stats on this. Now you're armed with some information, with some truth. Don't let the bobbleheads on corporate media tell you anything different, because they have their own agendas. They're owned by the corporations that own our government. Take care of yourself, stay alert, keep your eyes wide open. More coming.